Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast. T-Roy in the house.
How's it going, brother?
Going all right. How you doing?
Well, very well.
Hanging in there good.
I am. It's a Monday. Well,
Shalom, Biggie. How you doing, pal?
Very well.
Yeah.
excellent. A couple of very wells. So,
Very well, and I didn't
always
say
doing
terrible,
well.
and
Off
I
to
am
a good
doing
start.
terrible. Yeah, this is a weird day for all. Oh my God. Spent half the morning. The other day I sent out on the show like, hey, if anyone's got anything that's good out there to watch, let me know. I'm always looking for good shit. And someone suggested McMillions. Have you heard of that?
I have not.
Obviously McDonald's related.
I would guess.
And it's HBO, so they drop it kind of like Curb does. One episode. It's not like a whole season drops like Netflix, which is annoying as shit. But episode 2 comes out tonight, and so I was like, oh, okay, I'll check it out, see what it is. And I just figured it's about making how much money they make or some shit.
It's a documentary or? Okay.
Yeah, they got a podcast that goes with it. That you can follow along. He wants you to watch the first episode first, but it's all about the Monopoly game. Remember McDonald's?
Oh, yeah.
From like 1989 through 2001.
Yeah.
Had the Monopoly game, and you could.
That's it? I feel like they've done it more than that. No, that was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
They've done other games. They'd like Scrabble, and I guess people loved it so much. They get like a 40% boost in sales.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Like, whenever
I
they
was
do
so
it.
dumb as a kid. Because, I was running that for sure in that range. Like, I remember they would do it a lot of times around spring, and we would go on our, trip down to Florida to see my grandma, and we would drive, and I'd be so excited because I'm like, holy shit, I'm gonna try to ask us to stop at McDonald's every time because I'm gonna win the $1 million.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm guilty. I went there more for it.
Yeah, I think we
Especially.
all did. And they had a loophole in it, like no participation necessary. So you could just walk into McDonald's
Yeah, you were supposed to
and
be able
say, hey, can I get thing? Otherwise, it's legalized it's gambling.
Okay.
So if you had to buy something in order to get the game pieces, it was technically gambling. And so that's why they did that, where it's like, no participation necessary. You could buy magazines, and sometimes they do promos. One guy that won $1 million got it out of a People magazine, where you'd get it. And so I remember getting free small fry.
Yeah, it was all little stuff here
All
and
little
there.
shit. Well, it turns out,
Remember getting that
From-
like Park Place, and then would just go back
Boardwalk,
all the time
yeah.
waiting for that boardwalk
God
to
damn
come
it, that
in, and it
boardwalk.
never did. That
and
son
people
of a bitch.
people would get their little,
Board.
board,
Yeah.
and stick them on there and go crazy. It turns out, they'd give away cars, homes.
Yeah, some big prizes in that.
Turns out there was a firm that did those pieces that ran that game, and anything $25,000 up to the $1 million was basically stolen and rigged.
Really?
The whole fucking time.
Oh.
Like every year from 1989 to 2001, almost every one of those. And I don't
No
know how
kidding.
so this documentary team goes in and had to pull like freedom of information shit, to get access to the FBI files.
Yeah.
There was someone that snitched and was like, yeah, the last 3 winners, if you trace them out long enough, they're like related and shit. And I won't give too much of it away, but I mean, it's basically the undoing, how the FBI went undercover and this
Wow.
sting, and McDonald's is mixed up in it.
No wonder I didn't fucking win.
Yeah, right? None of us had a chance, man.
I had small fries coming out of my yin yang.
Yeah,
some
but
apple
you
pie
paid
or
fucking
whatever.
$1,000 more a year
When-
to
if
get
you-
2 small fries and a small Coke.
Yeah, if you didn't you get like 2 pieces if you went up to like an extra large, or if you
Yes,
got
when they
the
had the whole supersized shit.
Yeah, to supersize it, right? Yeah, you could get 2 pieces. So
Yeah.
that was a big upsell
Hell yeah.
factor.
I feel like such an ass now. It's like
True. Oh,
we're
yeah.
all playing that.
Pawns in the game.
Yeah, so after the show, maybe we can play it for you.
Yeah.
Episode 1, because then episode 2 is tonight.
Coming. Oh,
It's
perfect.
like, oh, hell yeah.
Gotta get caught up.
Yeah, I'm watching. I'm like, oh, T's got to watch this. What? E?
It's this is about, to be honest, I'm going back to the Michael Vick thing, man. I know I said when I first saw that it was going to be as long as it was 4 hours, and I
Yeah.
knew it was too long.
Yeah.
The second part is way too long, and I gotta say,
Yeah,
dude,
I agree with you, dude.
I gotta say, I know he paid the price. He went to jail. I don't think he doesn't apologize in there. And
You know
I
what,
don't
dude?
think that
We haven't circled back to this, E. I watched that second episode because I've read a lot of articles about him. from former members of, like the Animal Society and ASPCA and like all these animal rights things, and they've really sung his praises about, he's a monster, but he couldn't do much more. There's not much more he could do to like get back in the good graces, and he still is working in inner cities with kids on his dime, but I did not think that documentary
did him any favors.
Did him any favors as far as
Really?
Yeah, like there
barely
was
even
a
talk about
storyline
it.
there that could have humanized that motherfucker.
Yeah.
The last half hour,
Yeah.
the last hour about all the work he's done, whatever. I think they dropped the ball on that, and in the end, I'm like,
And look at maybe he's doing more, and it does say they throw a line in there like, "Oh, he's trying to do it without press." And if that's true, even if he is doing more, good for him, I guess. But like in his explanation, in that like he's talking, he's on the thing talking, he just doesn't seem like he really thought it was a big deal in the end. Honestly, I didn't get the impression. And the other thing, by the way, is he comes back to Philadelphia and he's like, he's been in jail. And he's had this, he was broke and lost all his money. And he's like, you know what? I just want a redemption. And then he talks about that story about him. He tells a story that he's in the locker, and I forget what player it is, but he goes like, yo, dude, you don't got no abs, man. You got fucking, he's like, oh, fuck, I'm out of shape. And he gets up with this personal trainer, and he's like, I'm going to fucking get back, man. I'm going to get back. I'm going to take this seriously.
Yeah, he was too slow.
And then he misses a few workouts. He's like, I might have missed a few. I might not have really liked it. And it's like, did he ever really care? Like maybe,
yeah,
and
and
if he didn't, it's fine.
his
but,
boys too, and
Right.
and they knew it was wrong. I watched it too, Ian, and was just like, wow,
I mean, some of these people
that hated him for the dog fighting thing are gonna watch that and be like, fuck that dude.
and some of the, you know what?
They just are.
Some of the racist shit, like, okay, agreed. There are, just like anything, there are probably racists that turn this in an opportunity. Some of those guys are like, man, we talking about all he killed is some dogs. And,
Yeah.
and I get that. I do understand that. It is not humans. But on the same hand, bullshit
It's worse.
for you to turn, whatever.
Humans are assholes.
But it's bullshit for some of these guys to just Steve Harvey's up on something saying it's like a black-white thing.
Yeah,
it's
I
like, you
know,
know what?
I
I'm not
know.
a fucking racist, and I don't like beating up dogs. And
Yeah.
I don't think he's watching that. I don't really feel like he ever felt it was even bad.
Yeah.
So is that racist?
I know what you're talking about. As soon as the race card gets played, it's like, dude, stop it. Michael Vick was a hero to everybody.
I loved him.
Everybody loved Michael Vick. He's an anomaly.
True.
Brilliant athlete,
Actually, a
changed
very
the
brilliant
game.
athlete, by the way,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
And-
No, because like in reality, through the stock, I've also learned that I don't think he really worked that hard.
No, he
so he was a
didn't.
No.
very good
He
athlete.
admits that.
Exactly. That's the point. That was his biggest negative, is that he was such a gifted, just brilliant athlete.
didn't have to.
No matter what, he didn't have to try. He was just that good that he was better than just about everybody else naturally. He didn't have to work for it.
Not reading your playbook.
That's insane.
I mean, I know Jay likes to say like, I just don't think it's that hard. I don't think the game is that complicated. It's like, dude,
Oh, well, you don't know the intricacies.
if you see what they're doing with these offenses now, it's insanely, detailed. So, but yeah, he's just out there playing fucking schoolball,
Right.
Just winging it around, and like,
Gonna play. If he's not open,
Care
I'm gonna
the
take
world.
off and run. We're gonna get a first down, and
nobody can say anything to him.
And like I said, I mean, look
Coaches
at
were afraid of him.
that 4-hour thing. Like, I know it's 4 hours. It's actually, if you watch it on demand, really coolly, they don't even book commercials. So it's an hour 40. So it's not 4 hours.
Most of those
technically.
are almost commercial free.
Right. But like, it just seems to me like even like explaining the history of like what in the inner city stuff. Like, yes, they
Yeah,
talk about
they
it.
did- they
but
breezed
it
over it.
basically just talks about him as a career, his career.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really.
Yeah, a lot of
to
highlight
me-
reel and-
Right. It
yeah.
doesn't really even get into like. To me,
Yeah.
for 4 hours that you have.
No,
like,
they should have spent an hour in the beginning going, this is the reality. For people that don't grow up in this environment and really dive into the civics behind, like the reality of life in the inner city and why this would be important and why you would get caught up in this. They kind of sort of mention it. And then at the end, not doing justice, in my opinion, and going, dude, you might not want to talk about this, but we'll get other people on camera to talk about what you've done, because they really needed it. They really could have humanized him in the end, and I don't think they did.
It doesn't matter, I guess. I mean, whatever. I don't know. Obviously,
Yeah.
my opinion or your opinion of Michael Vick doesn't matter. But I mean, if you know,
And then all the lying too.
I know.
Where his lawyer's like, look, man,
He's just
there's
trying,
two
that's
ways
it.
to play this. Okay? Here's what they're saying. I'm your lawyer, and this guy's your financial guy. If this is a true story, I will play it this way. If this is bullshit, I will play it this way. And he's like, nah, man, I don't know what you're talking about.
you're right.
Deny,
And it's
deny.
Fuck, man.
But that's
you
your
know
lawyer.
you know
Yeah.
he's the one guy you have to
And
be
he's
clear with.
asking you. He's not even putting you in that position. He's saying, dude, if you did this, just let me know, and
Yeah.
we can go out in a different way.
Very, very
Like-
clear. Like I have a very clear path. Two directions we go with this. How our defense is. But I need.
But
you
if
to,
I go this
right
way
now,
and you did end up doing it, you're fucked.
yeah, and he's like, nah,
Yeah.
no, I just told him, nope, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, dude, you have a fucking kennel hidden in the woods behind your house. The feds are there collecting dogs.
They kept adding
There's
on to
blood
it.
and teeth on the ground. There's fucking steroids and all these bottles for injecting dogs to heal. Like,
Wasn't me.
I don't know what
What
you're
a
talking
group
about,
of
man.
Wouldn't
people,
me.
too. Like, he's got this group of people that live in this house. They have tips coming in on a regular basis that the police are watching them for what they're doing. And they would, oh, yeah, I saw that state trooper outside. Just thought he was making sure that church didn't burn down.
Yeah.
It's like, are you fucking kidding? People are telling you.
Wasn't it
that
so?
they're-
Wasn't it one like Pookie or something
Yeah.
got busted with a bag of weed?
Right.
That brought the whole goddamn
Of course.
troop into the house.
Usually how
Like,
it works.
man, you can't keep Pookie in line.
Gave him a reason.
Fuck. Stupid. Yeah, I was disappointed, dude, in the end, and I know because I get beat up from you know, because people know how much I love the Proops
Yeah.
and you know helped rescue him, and so people are like, "What the fuck, dude?" You know, anytime I talk about Mike Vick, it's like he is. You know, people don't like him, and a lot of the stuff I read, I know that most people haven't, and so I was like, you know, in fairness, I don't need to just trash this guy forever.
No.
There's a redemption story there, and I think they failed big time to fucking
For whatever
it's
it matters, I guess.
almost to
It doesn't-
prove my point against me. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah. Well, you know, you say he doesn't like apologize or doesn't think that it was wrong, and in a way, if that's the way you're brought up and that's just sort of second nature to you, then maybe inherently he really doesn't. It's sort of like, you know, you're in the
Yeah.
hood, you know, selling
that's
crack or
fine,
something, you know, or
but-
whatever.
Yeah.
You do what you got to do. You know it's wrong, but it's not because it's just. I mean, I understand.
but you know,
It's not
Jay-Z's
apples
not going to
apples.
defend a fucking dogfighting ring now. Jay-Z's an entrepreneur that got out of that shit and
Yeah.
has built a life as a professional, respected businessman. Michael Vick signed a $150 million contract and then signed a $100 million deal with Philadelphia. When he
That's
got
all
back.
gone.
I don't know what
I
he
don't
has
know.
now.
Yeah,
but, I
who
mean,
knows,
But
but-
like he could look back, like you said, and then you know what?
You know what?
You're
Right.
not a ghetto rat kid anymore. You're a
Right.
fucking upstanding member of trying to get back in the good graces of the NFL.
Even if you don't
and-
believe it, just
and
go ahead
the
and say
public.
it.
That's the other thing. Like, why would
And you know what?
Right.
That's not good enough, T. I want him to fucking. I want to know, looking him in the eyes on that thing, like E did. I can tell.
Yeah.
Like, dude, did you even care? Or you know, because that's what you needed to see. Is like, you know what? I really I didn't know. I grew up in hard times, and you know, there's no excuse, whatever. But boy, oh boy, is it eye opening. And I'm going to do everything I can going forward to make sure that this stops with this generation, that this doesn't continue. But when you're going, oh fuck, man, they got cockfighting in Mexico. What's the big deal? They got fucking blah 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 fighting in Brazil. I mean, we're just fighting dogs. It's like, oh God, tell fucking Pookie to shut the fuck up, dude. Just stop.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
He's got a deal, isn't he, with Fox or somebody?
He
At least he had until this thing came out. I don't know, but
yeah, this thing probably won't hold him back. It's
Yeah.
not so egregious, but
Right.
it was just disappointing.
Yeah.
And I blame more so the director
Yeah.
than I do Michael Vick. I mean, like the director is the storyteller. He's the one creating the story, and I mean he's working with what he's got. But
you never know how that was edited out. Too.
yeah, but
I don't get the
these guys are
impression-
Some
usually
PETA guy behind the boards going,
no.
fuck this guy.
The way
No, I'm
30
just
for
kidding.
30 does it, though, is that the guys that are behind each individual 30 for 30 are really close to it
Yeah.
and have a love for it. So this guy would have been a big fan of Michael Vick and a big fan of that story. Like, you know,
And you can tell that the point of this thing is to try to redeem him. So when you say like the guy might have
Yeah.
been like fuck, like you can tell that it's supposed to be done in a way that we're supposed to go boys will be boys or something. And
Yeah, it's weird.
Definitely doesn't, man.
the other thing that was on TV last night, you watched a little bit of it, T, before you crashed.
I did. The
The
Oscars.
Oscars, yes. Yes. Once again, the Oscars. And
so white male over 60. The theme now.
yeah, was it white male over 60?
Well, because yeah,
That's
women,
the voting thing.
right, women.
No,
Don't get it,
women are perfect.
aren't they?
Women are superheroes. Women are the cat's ass. Like the whole night, it was like, okay, I get it. Women are great. Fuck.
Hashtag me too.
Great. I mean, dude, it was one plug after another for women are the greatest thing to ever fucking happen to planet Earth. Bet you didn't know that.
They couldn't get their diaper ad on there though.
No. I hate giving Piers Morgan too much press, but he's got a bigger team than we do here as far as compiling stuff. So whenever one of these things happen and it gets into the whole virtue signaling and wokeness, when these assholes are up on stage accepting their award, I love that he can break it down and be like, oh, really, asshole? How about bah? And it's like, okay, I don't have the research team, so I can read this and feel fairly comfortable
Sure.
in the details, which was
Tends to generally
funny.
fall right in line with your views too, so it works out good.
yeah. Well, in a lot of respects, yeah. It falls in line with a lot of people's views. Hypocrisy is the thing that most people hate more than anything.
True.
Hypocrisy. So it's why the Catholic Church, oh God, we're holier than thou, but mouth fucking kids on the side. The hypocrisy is what, dude, kills you. And I can't tell you how disappointed. I expect it from certain people to
Yep.
be up there and fucking blasting off about whatever, fracking or
Whatever
shit
their
of the
cause
day they're
is,
into.
exactly.
The Green New Deal.
They didn't get the Ricky Gervais to come out and
No.
put him on blast before they came up this time.
Oh, but the memes were going around for Ricky.
I'm sure.
With just like, take your award and fuck off.
Exactly.
That whole thing, which was great. But I can't tell you how disappointed I was with Brad Pitt.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Because Brad Pitt has been getting, he's too good looking to be taken seriously in a lot of respects when it comes to award season. And this time around, he's a 55-year-old guy, 56, whatever he is. And people were like, he's getting a lot of acclaim for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And rightfully so. I thought he was great in that role. And he's been winning awards. And apparently he had a team, an outside firm, to help him with speech writing.
Okay.
And so he's been great in all these award shows. He's going off on Leo and making jokes about him. He's making jokes about Quentin Tarantino being a foot guy, and he's taking more feet off or shoes off women than, like he's been really fucking attacking, and in a funny, lighthearted way, and then being very gracious and thankful for the award.
Well,
And it was like, okay, this is the biggest award you're going to win, an Oscar.
Yeah.
You win a gong on Oscar night? That's as big as it gets in his line of work. He's won an Oscar before, not for acting, though.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a production team that did a movie, and he won one a few years ago.
Okay.
But as far as acting,
Like Kobe winning one.
yeah,
Right.
for the basketball, diary,
Whatever he did. Whatever he paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for him, that should have been a really big, and it was like, cool, this is going to be the speech of speeches. Like, leave that shit behind. Why alienate? And they said I get 45 seconds up here, which is more time than the Senate gave John Bolton on the stand last week. And I was like,
He did have to get his
wah,
jab in there.
wah.
Yeah.
Fuck. Really, Brad? We're 4 seconds into this night.
That
and
was the first
already-
award, wasn't it?
Very first award.
Kicking it off, yeah.
It's like, come on, dude. And it just sucks because it was like, I knew he'd been working with these crews to, write this shit. He'd been great.
Yeah.
All award season. He talked about at the one awards thing. I think we were talking about it the other day about, I wanted to bring my mom with me, but anytime I'm pictured with a woman, I'm dating her. It's like,
assume.
which would be really awkward.
Right?
But he had his mom there last night,
Yeah.
and Leo's sitting there, and
A lot of those other shows are more casual and more laid back and
Yeah.
a little easier to go up there and bullshit and throw jabs and do stuff and not necessarily. But yeah, he had that opportunity and he took it.
he took it. And it's just, you don't need to. It's not necessary.
It's true.
You don't need to. So he says, I only get 45 seconds. Oh, it's more than the Senate gave John Bolton this week. I'm thinking maybe Quentin does a movie about it, and in the end, the adults do the right thing. And that's where Piers is like, sorry, what? He's like, Tarantino movies invariably end with adults doing completely the wrong thing and killing each other in frenzied, murderous bloodbaths.
Generally, yes.
Of extreme violence, including the one for which Mr. Pitt actually won his award, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Brad's boring descent into Trump bashing set the tone for what in many ways was the worst Oscars ever.
Really?
According to Pierce. Dreary 3.5-hour snooze fest made awkwardly disjointed by the baffling lack of a host for the second year in a row. And
Thanks, Kevin Hart.
right, which is we'll get
Fuck
to
that
that. A host, and I don't think these award shows do a great job of this, but a host does play a pretty big role
Yeah.
as far as setting the tone, keeping things on track. And when you've got the disjointed shit show,
The little segues, and at least keeps it right. Some stability. So
It's-
the Steve Martin and Chris Rock that came out first, was that the last time they were ever seen again? Did they just come out and
I
give
think
the
so.
first award? Okay.
Yeah. And so he's like, it just feels a bit weird when you don't have a host, especially when the producers fill the hole with endless music acts, making it feel more like the Grammys. And I noticed that too. The
I
weirdest
was
moment.
surprised when it came out. It opened up with that Janelle Monáe song,
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Rogers. We were like, what's happening right now?
Well, that's
How is-
pretty. I mean, normally they do something at the beginning,
they'll
some montage of the movies that are being
Something, right.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I
there's
guess that's what it was.
a huge difference between what Steve Martin used to do or Billy Crystal.
Yes.
You know, when he would like be in the films like and doing scenes.
Right.
You know, and they'd kind of CGI him in and then he'd be running through and then pop through the screen. Like nothing like that. No production level like
No.
that. The weirdest moment came when Eminem suddenly and inexplicably appeared on stage to perform a song 18 years after he won an Oscar, but didn't turn up to accept it. And he had tweeted out a video of Barbara Streisand going, yeah, I mean, Oscar goes to Eminem, you know, and he's not there. And so they send up Louise Resto or whatever, one of his writing guys, and he picked it up. And I guess the story is M was like, as if they're going to give me a fucking Oscar. And he ended up staying home and watching cartoons with Haley
fucking won?
all night. He watched cartoons with Haley during the Oscars, and then his phone blows up. He's like,
Found out he actually
fucking
won?
Fucking won?
Yeah, he certainly wasn't watching it.
Yeah. And so the funny thing is, though, and here comes hypocrisy again, rearing its ugly ass head. Pierce points out, my surprise swiftly turned to bemusement. I thought the Academy had a zero tolerance policy on anyone performing at the Oscars who has used homophobic slurs.
Fair.
That, after all, was why comedian Kevin Hart was unceremoniously axed as host 2 years ago when he refused to apologize for gay jokes he'd made nearly a decade earlier. By the way,
And had apologized for it.
I was just going to point that out.
Sorry,
It's not
but
that he
yeah.
hadn't apologized. He apologized at the time and then didn't feel the need to once again apologize a decade later.
You want to drag this up now.
Really?
Right?
So yeah, here we are, Eminem prancing about on stage, the same Eminem who has spent the past 20 years using the F word in various forms of fag and faggot in his rap lyrics. I think even on his new album, which just dropped, what, a week or two ago?
Not too long ago.
Songs to be Murdered By, or Murdered To.
It's a catchy title.
Yeah, and it's fine, it's good. I've listened to it, but I'm almost positive there's an early fag or faggot reference in that as well. And naturally, he was rewarded.
And maybe that's what, wasn't he a surprise?
Nobody
No?
knew.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why. That was the only way he was going to be able to be on that stage and perform, because if they had leaked that before and said he was
Yeah.
coming, he would have got Kevin Harted. There would have been the whole
You know
alphabet
what?
community going, nope, fuck this guy.
But they've done that to him before, and they've been like, go fuck yourself. Remember, that's when they brought Elton out, and he did Stan with Elton?
Yeah.
That was supposed to end homophobia forever.
Supposed to.
Yeah. It sort of did. Maybe it did. I don't know. Is homophobia over now?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
I love the gays. I'm not afraid of them.
Yeah, me either.
But I don't think that it is.
But I thought the Eminem Elton John Stan performance at
That
the
was-
Grammys was supposed to end homophobia. But maybe I'm wrong. So, anyways, Pierce points out, of course he was rewarded with a standing ovation from the Oscars crowd, most of whom have spent the past year loudly proclaiming their LGBTQ ally credentials. Let's see. The worst, even this didn't grade as much as the most woke speech of the night. Do you want to watch a minute of Eminem, by the way? I thought this was cool. They were pointing out, I think you were gone at this point. They were pointing out the most, like, songs impact in movies. And they did, like, a really fairly long montage. And it's, Footloose is playing.
Okay.
With-
throughout history, not just this year?
Yes. And, you'd be shocked at how, the boombox held up in
Say Anything.
Say Anything.
Isn't that right? Cusack?
Yeah, Cusack movie.
Great, yeah.
What is that, a Peter Gabriel song, I believe, is the one that's played there.
Sure.
In Your Eyes? Nah, it's not In Your Eyes.
No.
Well, whatever.
Moving on.
But there's a bunch of them. You know, Huey Lewis in the Back to the Future movie, stuff like that. So they're playing all these, and then they.
I was thinking American Psycho, but go ahead.
I think it was. You know, I said full number one thing. But
Celebrate his entire catalog.
and then they get to the end. They do a really long stretch of Eminem, like scenes of him in the bathroom before going out to battle. You know, in 8 Mile. But there's just like, do you have it, E?
I mean, I just have him singing. I didn't realize there was
Well-
other stuff.
Do you have the?
I mean, I have the performance that he did. I didn't realize that there was anything else.
Okay.
Was there so there was another video?
Well, no. That's fine. I'll explain it. So, in this montage, they've got Eminem, and you're just waiting for that, you know, that guitar. That I think it was one of the Bass brothers came up with that guitar lick, Jeff Bass maybe, and you're waiting for it, and it doesn't come, and it's just like this, like violins playing softly. You can sort of make out, is that Lose Yourself? What are they doing? And it goes for a really extended period of time, and you're like. You just keep, the door opens and it's like, okay, some producer got in here, and when the door closes, it's gonna you know, and launch kick in, and it doesn't, and you're like, what the fuck? And then they just kind of pan out to this, which is,
And here we are. And there it is.
yeah, and the audience is just like,
Right?
Did you capture it? Just let it slip.
His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth. Words won't come
Considering
out,
they have
he's
the
choking
drummers
now.
and the
Everybody's
like all the
choking
fucking
now.
awesome.
The
No,
clock's
but what is
run
the
out.
DJ
Time's
doing then?
Huh?
What is the DJ doing then exactly?
Reality, oh, there goes gravity, oh, there
Oh,
goes
he's doing
gravity.
subtle
He's
things.
so mad that he won't give up, that he knows he won't have it, he knows his whole.
I mean, it's just such a great fucking song.
Classic.
And it holds. I mean,
Yeah.
17, 18 years later,
Yeah.
we probably already got yanked off YouTube or whatever for that, but whatever.
Whatever.
Fuck 'em. It holds. And Eminem, the best
really
thing he
does.
ever did was take follow Jay-Z's lead and lose the fucking 2 turntables up there on the stage,
Yeah.
and do this and have an actual band playing those parts. Still have your DJ. I mean, it's like it changed everything. I've seen Eminem a dozen times, and every time I'd see him with just the DJ up there on this massive stage, it just you were like, dude, this
Right.
guy's just hitting play on a track. Like what?
Basically, yeah.
And now you get this full fucking symphony, and they're amazing players.
Yeah.
And I want to say he might have even used Jay's band at first.
Really?
Yeah, before putting one together for himself.
Seems like it gives a
quote
little
me on
more
that.
credibility in
Oh,
a way, you know,
so
performance-wise.
huge, dude.
Even though it's technically the same what he's doing, but
I mean, you've been to enough
do it
rap
that way-
shows,
I have,
right?
I have. Yeah.
And like the ones I remember back in the day, you'd get 15 MCs on stage.
And you couldn't understand shit
No.
most of the time.
No.
It was just bass and
Blown out bass.
and it was terrible.
horrible.
But
So when you get actual quality professional musicians up there,
Yeah.
you see a guy playing timpani, dung dung, you know, accenting all those parts that you know, and someone playing a real bass guitar and guitar doing those parts. It's awesome.
and that
Awesome.
is arguably one of the most iconic songs to a movie.
Yes.
Going back to the whole point of it that,
yeah,
that's
it's-
iconic for sure.
Nobody still knows really why he was there.
Doing that song.
Yeah, because they're like, well, he dropped a new album. You would think that if he was going to go there, he'd play a song not from 18 years ago.
I did think it was a little odd that was the song he played. When I heard, obviously it was all over the place that he
Yeah.
did that song, but maybe there wasn't anything off the new album that he could actually play. I haven't heard the whole thing. But
Yeah,
the ones I
they're
have heard, I'm
probably-
not sure he could
But
have
if the
played
Oscars are going to have a 5-minute Marshall Mathers
Yeah.
moment,
there. And that's what
He
it
won
goes
an
back to,
Oscar
because
for
he
Lose
won an
Yourself.
Oscar for that, and that's if they're talking about songs in movies and
Mm-hmm.
soundtracks and stuff, it makes sense.
some people are pointing out, like, you know, there's not a social message in Lose Yourself. You know, it's just kind of an anthem-y thing.
doesn't
you know,
say fag.
No,
No.
and the whole stadium knows it. I mean, when he does Lose Yourself live,
Yeah.
you know, if you're at Comerica Park, and I mean, dude, that's when the fireworks are going off, and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
whole place is fucking insane, bouncing. Yeah, I mean, that beat, you know, the guitar is holding that beat, and it's You feel it every time you see him do it live.
Yeah.
And so, they were worried, this is such a safe show. We've wokenessed this up so much. Maybe getting Eminem here, who's still capable of selling out everywhere he goes and selling albums. Maybe not the worst thing. Let's not announce it, surprise everybody. But that crowd, you could feel it. You could feel the energy in that room. Like they were into it.
Yeah.
And at the end, standing ovation.
And that's
all that
one of
kind
those
stuff.
songs that I don't care who you are. You just kind of get back into it
Yeah.
and you just bob and you feel it and
Yeah.
yeah.
And seeing people like singing the fucking lyrics
Yeah,
to
into
it.
it.
Older guys,
Right.
younger people, and then, what's his name? Martin Scorsese he's been memed up because he just looks like a fucking
no idea
deer
what's
headlights.
happening
I don't
right
know
now.
What's going on?
Who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, he didn't seem to get it, but
So has there been any backlash, fallout, anything because of it?
no, not that I've seen.
No, I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
a lot of people I think are trying to figure out why.
Well, I get it, but them going,
But-
hey, wait a minute, why did you have, Kevin Hart couldn't do it, and we're so woke at this point,
It's
but
a
wait a
question
minute,
to be asked.
how come you let him come do this
Yeah.
when he has a history? So I was
Yeah.
curious if, the next day the Twitter trolls got
Mm-hmm.
on their horses.
Best Actor award goes to
Joaquin.
Joaquin,
Aw.
sure. Sorry about that. My
Too
bad.
soon.
Joaquin Phoenix and
I have no problem with it. We called that the
Yeah.
day we walked out of that theater. You and I went to
Yep.
the Maple, watched that movie,
Yeah.
and walking out went,
There
if
it
he
is.
doesn't win Best Actor for that role, bullshit.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to watch any other movie. I don't know what anybody else did, but just what he was able to portray in that movie.
yeah, and seeing some things the way like he had a lot of input on how that movie and
Yeah.
how he played it went.
Yeah.
And was like, the dance in the bathroom after murdering someone.
Yeah,
like
I've heard some of that, yeah.
Yeah, he was like, that was his idea. Like, well, let me try it this way. And
It was his idea to lose all the weight. No, I take it back. It was the director guy because he wanted to be kind of frumpy. Like if this guy's
really?
like this losery kind of guy, he's like, why don't I put on this weight? And they were like, well, maybe you should like lose weight and be like weird looking.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, cool.
Well,
Did the whole Christian Bale and
he was-
showed his spine from the front.
Yeah, that was weird in the fridge, and then he gets into the fridge. It was weird though, seeing like the way that it was originally written. It was like, oh, there's going to be music when you're in the bathroom, and he's supposed to like break down and like, oh my god, I can't believe I've killed someone. I've actually crossed that line, and he's like, it's so much creepier and weird the way he just kind of fucking falls into a trance and starts dancing around the bathroom. You're like, oh shit, this dude's insane.
Yeah.
All Joaquin Phoenix.
Did you-
So you give him a lot of credit for that, you know?
You heard anything about the song that he did that to? The music for that?
Yeah,
I
it was
heard a little bit on that, but they
I
normally
think 60 Minutes did a piece
did
on
they?
it. Yeah.
I saw it on something else, but normally they will send a clip. They have all this a lot. If you're not using an existing song, they have a lot of this.
Hold music.
Somebody make the music for it, the score for the scene or for the timing, and normally they'll send the clip or the scene to them and say, "Hey, compose something for this scene." And this was the opposite. They gave this woman, I believe, a sort of outline of what was going to happen,
Yeah.
and said, "Give us something to go
Play
to,"
with, yeah.
and then they had it before the scene, and they played it over the speakers and everything while he's in that bathroom
Yeah.
doing it, and none of it was rehearsed, none of it was choreographed,
No.
none of it. That was him just.
And it was not the director's idea or vision.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix did that.
Yep.
Which is insane. So anyway, he gets up there last of the night, or not the last day. I guess they do a picture of the year after that. But he gets up there, of course. The crowd's going crazy. Stop! Stop! It's like, where's he going with this? I've been thinking a lot about some of these distressing issues we're facing together. The most distressing issue transpired, we find out, is humans eating cow's milk.
Wait, what? Which is, we found out recently, total bullshit, right? Like, we don't need it. It doesn't do the
Oh,
body
yeah.
good. It's
Dude,
not
yeah,
good for
it's
your
a lie.
bones. It actually
Wait,
is
it's not good
total
for your
bullshit.
bones?
No.
What about calcium?
It was just a fucking
Well, it's
advertisement.
all
getting sound, but
propaganda.
yeah.
It's all propaganda.
Breakfast is not the most important meal of the day either. That was just a thing for sell cereal.
Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Phoenix, of course, is a vegan activist. Looked close to tears at the time. We feel entitled to artificially inseminate a cow, and when she gives birth, we steal her baby, even though her cries of anguish are unmistakable. And then we take our milk that's intended for a calf, we put it in our coffee and our cereal. Like, just thank the director and whoever gave you the role for
Your
Joker
agent,
and
your
fuck
god,
off.
and fuck off.
Piers Morgan says, I actually burst out laughing when he said this. He said, not as you might think because I'm a callous bastard who doesn't care about calves, but because of all things for an actor to lecture the world about the oppression of cows for their milk is perhaps the most absurd. Joaquin seems very conflicted when it comes to his personal sacrifices for our greater good. He admits he's a dreadful environmental hypocrite, using fuel-guzzling planes to fly to climate change marches, where he then lectures us about our carbon footprint. To assuage his guilt, though, he's been very keen to point out through this whole award season that he's worn the same Stella McCartney tuxedo throughout the whole award season to minimize waste and help save the planet.
That a boy.
He says,
Man for the people right there.
does he even realize how absurd this sounds to the vast majority of moviegoers who can only afford maybe one tuxedo in their entire lives, if they can afford one at all? We've seen the same kind of laughably diluted virtue signaling at this year's award show dinners, where organizers have loudly and proudly served up plant-based menus to a bunch of people who traveled to the events by private jets and then took stretch limos to cover the 1-mile journey from their hotels to the venue. Similar delusion ran deep when documentary filmmaker Julia Reichert, who won an Oscar for the Obama-endorsed film American Factory, made a Marxist call to action for workers of the world to unite against income inequality. She was also cheered by the highly privileged, mega-rich crowd, clad in $100,000 dresses, dripping in equally expensive jewelry, all seemingly oblivious to their own grotesque contribution to this very inequality. The preach one thing, do another theme continued with Natalie Portman, who wore a cape with the names of all the female directors who weren't nominated for an Oscar. A fine gesture, yet, as
Make better
someone
movies.
but if you look a little closer, you see Portman's own production company, Handsome Charlie Films, has only ever hired one female director to make any of their films. That was Portman herself. That was the one female director they hired. Of the theme of hard, done by women dominated proceedings, it was driving me nuts. All women are superheroes, declared Sigourney Weaver. Pierce says, but they're not. With all due respect to my opposite gender, some women are awful.
Fair. Yeah, it's true.
The Oscars propagated this hyperbolic pro-women guff all night to mask the fact it still doesn't practice what it preaches and had a male-only director nominee list despite many very good female directors doing very good work in the past year. Just as it bangs on about diversity, it had a virtually all-white nominee list in every acting category. So to atone for that farcical lack of diversity, the Academy ordered a procession of diverse performers like Janelle Monáe to proclaim, "We celebrate all the women who directed phenomenal films, and I'm proud to be standing here as a black queer artist." Good for you. It
didn't know she was
smacked
a
of
gay.
desperation. Oh, yeah. Sadly, I suspect that's why.
Trifecta right there. A black gay female. That's checking all the boxes right
And
there.
an artist.
Wow.
Yeah. Sadly, I suspect that's why Parasite won Best Picture. The Academy can now point to a non-English speaking film winning the top award and several dozen jubilant Koreans wildly celebrating on stage as the show ended and say, "There you go, diversity." Good. There were
Has anybody seen Parasite, by the way?
fuck no.
I-
No.
Some of the people that I haven't
It's
seen
not
it,
in
so
the
I can't
English
say.
language film. I mean, like,
I'm not into reading movies, for the record,
Yeah, I'll read a
so I
book.
don't generally go that way.
I hear it's good.
But I've heard it's fantastic. And it is a really good movie. So I hate to just
I actually like the
discredit it
director.
just based on that. But
The director of it, I've been impressed with him. He usually doesn't speak in English, but he's got a translator there, and he seems pretty,
yeah,
he seems like a decent enough dude. And
like cool as fuck for a Korean.
yeah,
Yeah.
for a Korean. Do we have that chick singing? There's a couple moments I think we should show people if they missed this, because it turns
I don't
out
think we're showing anybody anything anymore. I think we already got booted, probably.
the Oscars drew 23 million viewers last night, 6 million fewer than last year. Yeah, it's been on a nosedive.
No, going back to the Joaquin thing real quick, the only thing I want to say is that as weird as that is and whatever, at least that's his thing, and he's not just following line in the sheet
Yeah.
and just going political like everybody else, and it wasn't just a straight...
Perspective.
I
though. You
get
know what I mean?
it.
Like,
Hey, that's his thing.
yeah,
Everybody has their platform. I'm just glad it wasn't
yeah.
another fuck Trump speech. That's all.
Yeah, true.
You know?
True.
Hey.
We did have first-time producers, Stephanie Elaine and Lynette Howell Taylor, were in charge of the show. So that's why we had no host.
Oh.
And viewers were very turned off. They were very, very, very turned off by the political statements. They just don't. They don't
really
give
are.
a shit what Brad Pitt thinks about the Senate.
Yeah.
Just don't. I know he's got a platform. He can do what he wants with it. Free speech. But
Everybody
if
has
you
an
think
opinion.
You're winning the people. You're not. You're just
Keep
not.
it to your fucking self. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Everybody has their opinion, but we don't have to hear it. And
So-
just because you have a microphone and a platform, you don't have to give me yours.
Yeah. Not interested.
Right. Facebook, Twitter, all that shit. Shut the fuck up.
So then they talk about how without a host they just filled it with musical guests, and they usually do that for the nominated
They'll have some,
songs.
yeah.
But this seemed, they brought on this woman, and I was like, oh my god, is that Violet Beauregard?
Who the hell's that?
That's the chick that blows up like a blueberry.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
in
and
the
Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka, the
Oh,
original
right.
Willy Wonka. I was like, that's Violet Beauregard. How did they get? Look at this fucking giant blueberry they brought on stage. I have no. This is Chrissy Metz.
Oh, I thought it was going to be
Okay.
Lizzo.
Yeah, he thought it was Rebel Wilson.
At that point, I would have said that too. Right there. Just in the dark.
Like, oh, okay. Let's keep it in the dark.
When you're hurting, I want you to know that you'll never have to hurt alone. When your faith is running low,
Keeping the lights dark is.
never lose faith.
We
That's
don't want-
Violet Beauregard,
We
right?
don't want a strong silhouette.
When the nights surround you and you think
E, would you?
no one cares,
No?
No, I would not.
You fat shaming right now?
Yeah.
throw my arms.
What if she's got a
He
great
doesn't
personality?
like. He doesn't like the biggins. He never has.
I know.
Never.
But what
do
if
a
she's got
skinny,
a
ugly
killer
chick.
personality?
Doesn't
matter.
You guys connect like never before. You and Violet Beauregard.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Just not having it.
There's a lot of options there. A lot of places to
Yeah,
go.
pick a role.
Right.
Just, what do we used to say? Just roll her in flour and look for the wet spot.
No,
Yeah.
thank you. I mean, I know there are people. I always used to say I wish I liked fat chicks, man, because
Yeah.
like if you really
For
dig
gamers.
fat
It's been a
chicks,
lot easier for you.
it'd be a lot easier, dude. You just go to the bar and go up to the fat friend, and you actually mean it. She'd love
Yeah.
it, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
couldn't do it.
Hogging.
Did you see your boy was up on stage last night?
Who?
E? Your good buddy.
Who?
Pat Green?
Yeah.
No, Pat Green was not up there.
Oh, man.
No, the guy he will not divide us. He will not.
Oh,
divide
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf, whatever. He was up there. He did a movie featuring. I want to say the kid's name is Zach. Maybe is it Zach? Kid with Down syndrome.
I keep wanting to.
Oh, that
wanna
was
watch
the
this,
kid
by
was
the
from
way.
a movie. I thought he won.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like a Make a Wish thing or something. No,
No,
Oh,
no, it was not
I
Make
saw
a
it.
Wish to get on stage at the Oscars.
Oh, I didn't catch the backstory. I just saw him on stage.
I think they did a movie, like a real life movie about this kid's life or something like
Keep
that.
wanting, honestly, God,
What's
I
the
keep
name of
wanting
it?
to
Do
watch
you know?
it. Peanut Butter Falcon. I want to watch it. I just don't know
Oh, I
where
heard.
to yet.
Okay, yeah,
Is
I
this
heard
an
of it.
indie film? Do I have that right?
It's probably a tweener. So it's
So either way, they brought Shia up on stage,
Mm-hmm.
and they brought this dude. And
Zach.
is he the one? Shit, is he the one that started making socks?
I don't. Remember.
One of them was making socks that were really selling like crazy.
Sure.
Like he would design them himself, like, and his dad, and it was like, okay, his dad started a bit. They were giving him credit, like,
Yeah.
kid with Down syndrome starts a business.
So he like scribbles
I don't
something
know if
down
that's
and
him
they
or if that's
print it on
another
a
one.
sock?
I think you're thinking about something else, man. I think you're thinking about
Maybe.
the person with Down syndrome that started like a cafe.
No. He
Okay.
definitely started a sock business.
Okay.
And so I don't know if they're making a movie about this one or if that was another one. I'm not
Well,
sure.
no, this movie is about some wrestling thing. Like that's the deal. Like
Okay.
he's like he wants to be a wrestler or something. I don't quite remember exactly, but I wanted to see it. And I still haven't got a chance.
Is there wrestling in the Special Olympics?
I don't know.
I'd fucking watch that.
Yeah.
I would totally watch
That's really,
that.
that's a horrible thing to say.
No, I'm just. What do you mean?
Yeah, no,
There's
no,
everything else. It's
well, because you're not.
is
you're not-
wrestling an Olympic sport?
No, because
Is
here's the
wrestling an
problem.
Olympic sport? Hold on.
It is.
Okay. Why can't it be a Special Olympic sport?
I'm not saying it can't. The thing is,
I'd watch it.
the
That's all I'm saying.
delivery of your line right there
What?
said that you are watching it not for the competitiveness of the sport.
Oh, I think it'd
but
be
for-
very competitive.
Well, I think that you'd be watching it for the wrong reasons.
No, I think it would be.
Yeah.
You know how strong those fucking people are?
What's the one? Is it pole vaulting?
That is a thing.
Where you like launch over?
I'd watch that.
But I think that most people listening right now would go, "You guys
You
are watching those for the
assholes.
wrong reasons." It's like,
No. I think it would be awesome. Well, first of all, if you're watching the Special Olympics, are you really watching for the skill? You watching the hurdles? Come on.
Are you?
Wait, they probably don't have hurdles. Probably just have like
They have a lot of hurdles. It's called life hurdles.
True.
No,
True.
I think I don't even know if you and I are allowed to go to the Special Olympics unless you have someone in the competition. You're going to get a lot of sideways looks like, "What the
I'm
fuck
sure.
are you doing
Yeah.
here, man?"
I want to make a sign. I want to pick a guy and go root for him.
Okay.
Boxing is an Olympic sport.
I don't think they're going to have boxing at the
No?
Special Olympics. No, I think they stick to.
Do they have swimming? Do they have?
Just stop.
What's the
just stop.
javelin? I'm curious. I don't know what they have.
I think there's a lot of running, some
It
mild
seems like it. I think
hurdles.
that's the only thing I've ever seen is
Yeah,
running.
Forrest Gump
do
sent
they
that
have?
template in place. E, do you have the speech? I love this kid's bow tie, by the way. I'll give this kid credit. The bow tie's dope.
Like gold and glittery, right?
Yeah, it was all
Wasn't
gold and glittery.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
He struggled at times. He didn't really know what his line was, and Shia is trying to feed it to him. And then Shia gets sick of this shit at the end. It's just like, all right, I'll take it from here.
Our clock's up. We
yeah,
gotta go.
we got to go. We don't have all night.
Short films allow for new voices to be seen and heard without the constraints of budget or permission. I've seen these films and they are beautiful.
And if you haven't seen it, come see it.
Bang. Here are the nominees for Best Live Action Short Film.
Okay.
I gotta admit.
Oh, that's not the full clip.
No,
but-
I know. Watching that live, I paused and went back.
Yeah.
I'm guilty.
Yeah. Well,
And it's not even. It was the awkward pause. There was just like that. Okay, say something.
say
You just
something,
wait.
anything, anything.
And right then, even Shy is like,
And
at the same.
and then at the end when he's holding the
Okay.
envelope and it's like, all you got to do at the end is open the fucking envelope. Just open the and the kid's just like standing there with the envelope like.
They couldn't have given him like an already opened one or something like.
And then I think he opens it if I'm not mistaken.
He
yeah.
finally gets it. Yeah.
He does, and then it's like he's gonna say, and Shai's just like, and the Oscar goes to, and then names it, and the kid's just like, ah. Anyway,
Oh, that's it. That's all we're gonna get.
Yeah.
Just that awkward pause of the and.
I didn't realize there was more to it.
Oh, it keeps going. Yeah, he's got to deliver the award still.
yeah, we're not
Yeah.
there yet. We don't need to.
No, it's
I
okay.
think we've
Not
done
belabor the
enough
point.
damage
No,
at this point.
hey, I support it. It's my favorite
Yeah.
syndrome. But I support the guy. I think it's fantastic. I'd
Yeah.
love to see the movie. I bet he's a fantastic actor.
Really?
Wow.
What leads you to believe that?
No, nothing.
have-
Just trying to be positive.
Yeah.
Trying to not get killed tomorrow.
Yeah, that's okay. We do. I feel bad every time. We have numerous listeners who have kids with Down syndrome, and I'm like, fuck it, man. Those people look happier than anybody I know.
Ain't that the truth?
I mean, that dude. Every time I see a kid with Down syndrome,
Yeah.
and Jay goes, I feel like I've seen that guy before.
Well,
I feel like I recognize him. I'm like, dude, they look like the happiest cats on planet Earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
It's like,
Yeah.
I think I'd rather be downsed. You know, I don't think you're supposed to say that, but honestly, I'm miserable as fuck every day of life.
True.
You
Yeah.
know?
I see it.
Yeah. Those guys seem very, very happy.
Not know the difference.
Just to quickly move past this, so, you know, they've got the swag bags they hand out every year.
Always.
Just showing how
It's a
in
big deal.
touch these people are with you and your life and your existence.
Yeah.
So this year's swag bag, and this is given out to the male and female, you know, lead and supporting. So 4 there, and then director. Those
That's
are
it. That's
those
the-
are the 5, but everybody nominated. So you got 5 in each category. So
Okay.
you're talking quite a few of these.
Well,
swag
this is like
bags.
everybody like there got it or something like a.
No, well, they probably get smaller. I think they've got.
This is the big one. This is the main.
If you go backstage at the Oscars, there's tons
Shit.
of tables, rows of tables with iPhones and fucking new headphones and all that
I
shit.
know.
So there's
Every
there's
time I go, it's
tons of
always
that
stuff,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. You can grab a bag and take what you want.
Yeah. That's why I
All
don't bother
free.
going every year. It's
It's
a
just
waste.
it's like, where am I going to store all this shit? Jesus fucking. And some people go in there and just like clean up, just fucking hang on everything. So did you know the swag bag goes back 20 years? Yeah,
What was
I didn't
what
know
was
that.
the original?
To 2001, to be exact.
Okay.
the Academy decided to gift all nominees gift bags containing luxury items. When the bags first began, the worth varied. Eventually reached close to $250,000
Per bag or total?
per bag.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
All
So you
right.
would go there and you would get $250,000 bag of shit. The IRS stepped in at this point, like, okay, the fuck? You can't just give someone $250,000 in gifts and not pay taxes.
Yeah.
So some people are like, fuck, I don't want to pay taxes on that.
Why can't it be like a charitable donation or something in a way?
Yeah, it doesn't work like
No?
that. No.
Roy, come on.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
How dare you suggest that? These people can't. These are the
I'm not
people
saying they
who need the
deserve it.
iPhones the most.
Well, give
God,
it-
they don't have to get. They can't get the new i12 or 11.
give it to Zach.
I mean,
They actually stopped doing the bag in 2005. So they kind of, some celebrities were like, yeah, keep your fucking bag. I'm not paying the taxes on that. But a lot of people wanted them still. And so they brought it back and they used a marketing company, Distinctive Assets. They start assembling it. They've got no association with the Academy. So there's a little bit of separation there. So the bags are given to the nominees for Best Actor, Actress, Supporting, and Director. Recipients of the 2020 Oscar Swag Bag will get a 12-day trip for 2 to Antarctica.
Oh,
The trip will be on the world's first ultra-luxury expedition yacht, the Scenic Eclipse. The yacht accommodates 200 guests, has 8 restaurants, a submarine, 2 helicopters, and a spa sanctuary. On the trip, you can kayak, snowshoe, hang out with penguins. And this is valued at $78,000.
Okay.
This trip,
Yeah.
12-day trip. So
sounds like a bargain.
nominees get a getaway for 8 guests in an active Spanish lighthouse, the Faro Cumplida Lighthouse. They also get a 5-night stay at a new lifestyle hotel in Waikiki, Hawaii, the Waikiki Beachcomber by Outrigger. Dinner for 2 at Flora's Field Kitchen in Cabo, Mexico. The restaurant gets food from its 150-acre ranch and serves handmade fresh food. Nominee gift bags include a custom 18-karat gold-plated lariat necklace from Blush and Whimsy. Skincare and wellness products are having a moment. This year's bag contains a 24-karat gold Royal Chakra bath bomb. Each bath bomb is made of organic hyaluronic acid, purple Brazilian clay, and vegan coconut milk. They receive a trip to the destination Spa Golden Door.
Do you have to actually qualify that coconut milk is vegan?
Yeah, apparently you do.
Is there any other type of coconut
Meat
milk? Is there a
coconut. Well,
non?
yeah, meat coconuts.
Yeah, is there
I mean,
another?
I love meat coconuts.
Okay.
As if that was enough, you get to go to the Golden Door Spa, located in San Diego, California. It was voted the #1 destination spa in the world by Condé Nast Traveler.
Well, that's reputable.
The gift bag also contains up to $25,000 worth of treatments and cosmetic procedures, Botox, laser skin resurfacing, chemical peels, injectables, fillers from this top New York City cosmetologist. Everything will reportedly cost about $215,000 per bag.
Wow.
So
one of those things.
and
too,
I did.
just-
There's a bunch of shit I didn't list
I'm
off
sure,
in
yeah,
there that I
that-
can't even pronounce.
Why
like
would you?
skincare products and all that bullshit.
But one of those things was a dinner at a restaurant in Mexico.
Yeah.
Not a trip, not a stay, not anything. Just
well, they're staying at that Spanish lighthouse, so it's probably by.
Yeah, it's probably
oh,
close.
okay. Probably
Yeah.
included in that. I guess that's fair. Well, no, isn't that a Spanish? Mexico and Spain are not the same. Ian.
I know.
It's a different.
I understand that. but
Okay.
I don't know.
I got you.
Get
Sorry.
your ass to Cabo and you can go have fucking
Yeah.
dinner at this.
Well, it just
place.
seemed a little odd just to throw. Okay,
Yeah.
San Diego's one thing or wherever that was, but
Yeah.
a Mexican restaurant
It's just-
seemed a little odd to throw in there without a inclusive trip.
I get why they do this. You want celebrities wearing your fucking necklace or
course.
using your bath bomb or showing up at your resort.
Yeah.
There's a reason why that works. It just stinks. It just does. If you want to take that, Brad Pitt does not need a $78,000 12-day excursion to Antarctica. If he wants to go, guy makes $50 million a movie. He can go anywhere in the world he wants at any point. He can fly his own ass there in a private jet, and I wouldn't think twice about it.
It's not like the Oscars pay for that. Like it's a part of the prize of them
Yeah.
winning. That's all donated stuff.
It's a big deal to get your product into
that.
the gift bag
Of
because they know
course.
these stories are going to come out.
Exactly.
It's just like, we'll fucking donate it to charity, man. There are plenty of people who could use, $220,000 in shit that you don't need.
And that's what those people should all do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't.
Although who are you going to give that Antarctica cruise to?
I don't know. The homeless.
Zach.
Zach. Send Zach.
Yeah.
Let him go and walk in snowshoes and see penguins.
with the penguins,
He'd
for
probably
sure.
fucking have a blast playing with penguins.
Who wouldn't?
Anyway, moving on. We spent enough time on the fucking Oscars. Sorry about that.
Well,
It's-
it was yesterday. So.
it was, yeah.
Current events. That's what we do.
Did you see Joe Biden call that chick a lying dog-faced pony soldier?
I saw the headline. I did not know any context of it, but
He is so dated.
Yeah.
This dude can't help it.
Yeah.
He just, like, he wants to say that line. Like, that line impressed him from, a movie from 100 years ago. It's
It's an actual line from something?
It's
Is it? Okay.
it's a reference to a John Wayne movie from 1952 or something. And yeah, he's used it before. I can't remember. 1952, Tyrone Power did a film, Pony Soldier, which uses the phrase throughout. And so he likes to,
But what's the context of this now?
Well, I'll play it for
Oh,
you.
good. All right.
You've got a college girl, right? She's on the debate team at Mercer University, economics student at Mercer University, and so she's asking him, like, hey, if you're so great, why did you suck in Iowa? Blah blah blah. And he's like, you ever been to a caucus before? And he's like, you're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. She's like, saying, no, you
I don't know what
haven't.
that
Got me.
is, old man, but
Yeah, old man.
okay, boomer.
Right?
It was kind of humiliating to be called a liar on national TV by the former VP.
See, I think she's
Instead of
lying.
answering the question straightforward, his immediate response was to attempt to invalidate me by exposing my inexperience. He's been performing extremely poorly in this race, and the fact he couldn't just straight answer my question without bullying or intimidating just exacerbates that fact. I'm a 21-year-old college student. Like, what the hell do I know? Who cares who I am or my experience? Just answer the damn question. So she's on the debate team at Mercer, and this is part of a school trip to go see this ancient fucking milkshake,
Yeah.
spit out lines like that, And so she asked why voters should believe. Well, let's play it.
Yeah.
We've got
I'd like to
I
see
think
it.
she's lying that she's offended only because I don't think she even knows what he just said about it.
I know. I was trying to process that. Was that good or bad? It said
Well,
lying,
here's
so
why
it had to be bad.
here's
Right.
why I believe her.
Oh,
She's
no,
like,
I'm kidding.
I did not expect to blow up in national news.
Yeah.
Had I known, I would have put makeup on and looked a lot cuter. I was like, that's a 21-year-old's answer.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
With her, what's her hat say there? Maybe, no other. Who knows?
So there's she is.
Madison, and I'm an econ student at Mercer University. And oh, awesome. So I'm gonna be a little bit mean for a second, okay? So, so you're arguably the candidate with the greatest advantage in this race. You've been the vice president. You weren't burdened down by the impeachment trials. So, in the participation. So how do you explain
Yeah, he didn't have to race
the
home.
performance in Iowa, and why should the voters believe that you can win the national election?
Such a legitimate
It's a
question.
good
Absolutely.
question.
Well stated,
Number
well
one.
put.
Iowa's a Democratic caucus. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. It was a little bit confusing in Iowa. Number one. But let's assume everything was exactly right in Iowa. The idea
comes a career
that you
politician.
come in with about half the delegates that the leaders come in with in Iowa does not necessarily say how you're going to win Pennsylvania, how you're going to win Michigan, where, by the way, the Black Caucus of the Michigan legislature just endorsed me.
Okay.
Okay. There you go. Deflect.
I'm the favorite of blacks.
Sidestep.
African Americans love me the most. He keeps spitting that up. He's used this before, by the way. 2018.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was at an campaign event for Heidi Heitkamp, and he said of her opponent Kevin Kramer, "Is my brother who loves to use lines from movies, from John Wayne movies. There's a line in a John Wayne movie, where an Indian chief turns to John Wayne and says, 'This is a lying dog-faced pony soldier.'" So it appears he may have misquoted that. I don't think that's exactly how it went. I did take one issue with her. Okay. She's like, well, when he asked me if I ever been to a caucus, I was nervous and I froze and I just nodded yes. I'm like, you're on the fucking debate team, man, at college.
You're not supposed
Nice
to freeze.
debate team. But You don't freeze and just nod affirmative. You go.
You're also not face to face with the vice president, you know.
Still, but dude, you're on the debate team for Mercer University, man. Step it.
It's not like
Mercer's going to get their asses handed to them this year in the debate team. I guarantee
Mercer.
it.
It's not a real school. It's
Well, saying. By the way, her name is Madison Moore, the girl there, econ student at Mercer, who is lacking in debate skills. I gotta say, when she gets back to class on Monday, I have a feeling
not going to go well.
her professor's gonna be like, "Really? Just not affirmative? Why don't you just go? No, I'm 21. Why the fuck would I go to one of these boring ass things? I'm only here for a school field trip. Answer the question, asshole."
I couldn't even vote in the last presidential election, asshole. No, I did not go to a caucus.
So her point was, like a lot of these the candidates that are a little less known, they don't have the name recognition of a former vice president like Joe Biden, had to fly back to D.C. and then back to Iowa. All the private jets they were flying on, back and forth to be a part of the vote and all that. Biden didn't have to. He could just hang out in Iowa. He didn't need to be there. He didn't, So it was like, okay, you had all this extra time here.
Legitimate question.
Why'd you get your ass kicked?
Yeah,
sir.
It was actually a great question, and the way it was phrased was a great question.
Yeah,
and he couldn't answer it.
I love this
Kicking
one
the
too.
gut, whatever he said it was. Kicking the balls, really.
By the way, Iowa still has not declared a winner.
No.
Yeah, looks like Pete Buttigieg is number one.
Him and Bernie are neck and neck. And here's so if he beats Bernie by 0.1%, whatever it ends up being, which in Iowa is like 4 fucking votes.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
I don't know.
0.
It probably means something.
It's a feather in your cap.
It's a feather in your cap.
All
I
it
won
is.
the Iowa caucus.
That's why the irony is Bernie like filing a recount for a caucus in Iowa.
Yeah. Stupid.
I don't know if he actually did or not. Today was the day he was like the last day he could actually file it, and they say he was going to, but I don't know if he did.
Why? He might have won.
It's my whole point.
He doesn't fucking know. They don't know.
I know.
Scrap the whole goddamn thing. Who gives a shit? It's the Iowa caucus. Who cares?
Exactly, and it means nothing. So
The one guy said they produce corn, not presidents.
They need their stroke.
New polling out over the weekend says that Biden is going to come in 4th place in New Hampshire as well, which is next. And this statement.
Well, Bernie's running away with that.
This statement had me laughing so hard because it's so absurd. He downplayed expectations, and he's got a sandbag. New Hampshire, which holds the nation's first primary tomorrow, Tuesday. Biden said, I can't be expected to top Sanders, who represents Vermont, or Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, since they're from neighboring states.
He said, Bernie's from a neighboring state?
Yeah. I'm like, can you imagine if your argument for losing an election was, dude, the guy's from Ohio. I mean,
yeah.
You can't expect T. Roy to win. The guy's from fucking Indiana.
Yeah, right.
What am I going to do? They're neighboring states. I mean, do you give a shit what any politician in Indiana thinks?
No.
Or Ohio?
True.
Seriously, they're neighboring states.
Yeah.
Sir, that is hilarious. The day I lose, the guy's from Ohio.
Yeah.
Can't be expected to. I don't even know how I would place. He's from Ohio.
Ridiculous.
Okay.
No, he's.
Okie dokie.
It's funny going into this. I really thought he was going to be the one to come out of this when all the dust settled. He's got the name. He's got the pedigree. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I just didn't think there was anybody else that was strong enough that was. Push comes to shove, that was going to overtake him.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you.
And he's just fading.
Jeb Bush,
he's
dude.
tripping
Jeb
over
Bush.
himself.
Everyone knew he's been a gaffe machine for 50 years.
Yeah.
He has. Everyone knows he's gonna talk about fucking switchblades and shit and rust on them and like he's in the fucking Sharks versus the whatever.
The Jets and Sharks.
Jets versus the Sharks. Come out and play.
Yeah.
He's just so dated. And you see him talking to school kids, inner city school kids, and he's talking about, I was going to pull out my switchblade and cut him. And you're like, what the fuck are you dude, read a room.
No.
These people are falling asleep. He's a gaffe machine.
Yeah. I feel like he's lost in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
He's taken that turn. Like he's senility or something starting to kick in.
And the funny part is, dude, this is a guy whose wife and daughter were killed in a horrible car accident in 1970 something when he was an up and coming junior senator, and he made the trip back home to deal with his son, both of his sons. Taking them to school and then taking the train back. There's a story there that is unbelievable. And then his kid fucking gets into the Navy. He's a crackhead. Hunter's a mess.
Yeah.
Hunter Biden is a fucking train wreck. No judgment. I don't care. But
I'd take his life right now.
and then his other kid fucking dies of a brain tumor. And on his dying thing says, Dad, you got to run for president. And he didn't run in 2016 because he just lost his son.
Yeah.
So, like, all those parts are very, very humanizing stories.
True.
Yet,
The irony.
I have no connection to him.
I wonder
None.
if he would have actually run in 2016 if things would have been different. If he would have.
Nah.
Well,
I think Trump was a fucking bowling ball through the door.
in a way, yeah, but it's not like he ran away with that thing. So, I mean, it's. No, exactly. So it wouldn't have taken a whole lot to tip those scales one way or another and change the outcome of that.
Well, that's interesting. Maybe Hillary would.
Right. It's not like he was a clear and away winner, right?
Yeah.
And Hillary was apparently the best candidate they had.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, even in the last, well, I shouldn't say 4 years because I didn't really see him a lot 4 years ago, but 8 years ago when he was coming off there.
It's very telling if you pay attention to the little things, right?
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders is legit. Bernie Sanders draws massive crowds. The Bernie Bros, they got fucked last election. But when you're talking about Joe Biden, dude, he's doing pancake brunches for 50 people.
Yeah, he's
Trump
no
will have
real
20,000
support there.
people with 40,000 people outside the venue.
No, but if he was coming right off of
like-
that Obama,
Yeah.
that VP, if he was to run right on that, I don't know. I mean, he might have gone out there and tripped on his dick like he is now, but
that stuff
choking on
means
his
something.
dentures. But
when you see these guys, because they're all doing, we're going to a diner in Pennsylvania, in rural town America, rolling up our sleeves. They want to get in there and they want a big crowd. Trump is selling out stadiums, and Klobuchar or Warren, they're just not drawing. If you see the crowds they're drawing, they're just not that impressive. And maybe that means nothing. Maybe people aren't going to go out for it. To me, it says you're not ginning up the fucking.
Oh, it's too wide open.
But Bernie is. No. Bernie is.
I mean, yeah,
Bernie's
he's got
drawing
his.
the crowds. Trump's drawing the crowds.
Yeah.
That's why I look at Biden, 4th place in Iowa, 4th place in New Hampshire.
He's fading hard.
Dude, he's jab.
No, yeah, he's done. He's done.
I found this story really interesting, totally shifting gears. You ever heard of Mike Bolsinger?
Bolsinger?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. He's a pitcher, okay? Toronto Blue Jays pitcher. And he's filed a civil lawsuit in LA Superior Court accusing the Astros of unfair business practices, negligence, and intentional interference with contractual and economic relations.
Interesting
Very.
angle. Wow.
When I read you the details from this
Thought
story,
about that side of it.
you're going to be like, holy shit.
I think it's stupid, personally, but
No,
Have you
it's
read the
just
details of it?
It's a very
I guess I'll let
interesting
you
angle.
read me some of the details.
Let me read you some of the details
But he
and
cites
see what you think.
one game. Like, I did
Okay,
shitty in this.
let me get to it, E.
Yeah.
So, he's seeking unspecified damages, not all for himself. He wants the Astros to forfeit the roughly $31 million in bonuses from their ill-gotten World Series title, and for the money to go to charities in LA focused on bettering kids' lives, as well as to create a fund for retired ball players who need financial assistance. So it's not just about pay me.
No, right.
You could be forgiven, people, in the article I read, if that name doesn't, you jump, Bolsinger, hell yeah. If that doesn't ring a bell. Or if you know little beyond that he was the pitcher the Astros lit up for 4 runs, 4 hits, 3 walks in a third of an inning, 29 pitches to be exact, in an August 4th, 2017 game in Houston.
Well, just for the record, that's too many walks. The banging on the can doesn't have anything to do with the walks. But
Let me read. Quintessential journeyman, drafted in the 15th round, spent 4+ seasons in the minors before making his major league debut in 2014. Over the next 4 seasons, he's bouncing between, getting up to the show and AAA. He's
In and out, yeah.
He's doing that. By the time he faced the Astros, he was 29. Recently, been converted to a reliever. Good move. Just get your 1 inning, whatever. He hoped to pitch well enough in the second half of the season to carve out a regular roster spot for himself as a reliever. By the time that nightmare of a night was over, he'd been demoted. He has not pitched in the majors since. I don't know if I've ever had a worse outing in my pro career. I remember saying, it was like they knew what I was throwing. They're laying off pitches they weren't laying off before. It's like they knew what was coming. That was the thought in my head. I felt like I didn't have a chance. He was right. The Astros did know what was coming. He's not a flamethrower. He throws off-speed pitches that depend on catching batters off guard. According to the lawsuit, an Astros fan who wrote a web application to document every instance of trash can banging. He found that the most bangs took place in that August 4th, 2017 game. And the most bangs in the game came when Bolsinger was on the mound. There were bangs on 12 of his 29 pitches. The Astros team were bragging about how great their offense was and how productive they were, and it was at the hands of cheating, and the consequence was Mike. Bolsinger spent the rest of the season in Class AAA, going 1-0 with a save and a 1.93 ERA. But he was not among the Blue Jays' September call-ups and wasn't offered a new contract by the Jays or any other team. Let's say the Astros game doesn't happen. I probably don't get sent down. But at that point, they probably lost faith in me and we're over it. So he ends up going to Japan. I know where you're going, E. I get it.
But
He ends up being shipped to Japan. Great 2 years there. He goes there. His wife is pregnant, about to have a kid. They don't speak the language. They have no friends, no family. He's like, it was a fucking nightmare. You know, we don't have a doctor. We don't, you know, just adding to it. Like, this is what ended up happening after that loss.
Yeah.
Here's where I ended up. So he will be at home when pitchers and catchers begin reporting this week. Despite going 18-8 with a 3.87 ERA the last 2 seasons in Japan, he still doesn't have a job. I don't think the punishment has fit the crime. And let's be honest, all these guys are going to get managing jobs again. He paid a price for the Astros' deceitful ways. It's only fair they do the same.
what punishment? I don't understand what his
What do you mean?
punishment was.
Well,
What do you mean? Who? Bolsinger's? How about being demoted to
How about
AAA
being
and then never
way
getting a
better
call up
way
again?
earlier? How about not being a journeyman for all this? I mean, what do you mean?
there's a
Like,
lot to be said that one game didn't make or break his career. But at the
Dude.
time, yes. And would you say he had a 3.87 ERA in Japan?
Yes.
Wins don't really. Most people
not
don't even
impressed.
look at wins
Oh,
anymore.
ERA
anyway.
and whip, man. That's what it's all about
Right.
in the war. But
Dude.
the 3.87 in Japan,
4 runs,
Not buying it.
4 hits, 3 walks in a third of an inning
Yeah.
in 29 pitches.
3 walks.
But if you know what's
But
coming,
you don't know if it's a strike or a ball.
no, but you know if it's an off speed, you know if it's a curveball or a fastball.
The T-Ray's like point, I
Well-
guess. That's 4.812. That's 12
Right,
pitches. that were
12
out
of the
zone
pitches that
in
were
an inning.
in 29 of those that were not.
You can't imagine. You don't have an out. You have 1 out in 29 pitches. You give up 4 runs, 3 walk. Dude, that's a shellacking.
Well, 12
That
of-
is a career ender.
almost
to
half of
find
those were
out-
balls.
To find out that the most bangs, we all agree they cheated their asses off in the World Series and all that.
How's who figured out the bangs? How is this documented? By the way,
There was a fan. This happens. A guy goes and studies those tapes,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going, "Okay, I'm going to document and set up a web so you can chart when were these going off."
and you can hear these bangs.
yeah, of course.
audibly.
Yeah.
on a
That's what he's doing. He wrote a web
Yeah,
application.
it did sound like the bangs they were doing with this trash can. Like people were noticing it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So it wasn't like
yeah.
so people would have been able to
Right.
see it.
According to the
Or
lawsuit,
hear
an
it.
Astros fan who wrote a web application to document every instance of trash can banging found that the most bangs took place in that August 4th, 2017 game, and the most bangs in the game came when Mike Bolsinger was on the mound. There were bangs on 12 of his 29 pitches. Mm-hmm. That's a shitload.
obviously not the 12 balls.
Well,
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, come on.
It's an interesting angle to be able to sue because of that. The problem is you can't prove any of it. You
Well,
can't.
yeah,
well,
yeah, there's no proof
right.
that
There's
he's
no
gonna become this-
quantifiable proof. Yes, they already know they cheated. It's documented. They
to
know
not
that.
punish them is why Pete Rose is coming to them.
I'm not saying they
It's
shouldn't
why
be
players
punished,
like
but-
this are coming to him.
Yeah.
There's not a lifetime ban for Alex Carreras or whatever the new Mets manager or Red Sox manager. Those guys are just like, yeah, you're fired. And his point is, they're just going to get another managing job. I mean, they'll be
He could
fine.
have got another pitching job.
Have to sit for
I
it.
mean,
Well, right. That's just. I mean, and like I said, there's a lot to be.
He
said
doesn't
for
even
that,
get called to spring training.
Well,
Do
29.
you think it's because? Do you think they're not calling him to spring training because
I
it's one
think-
inning, or do you think they've looked at film of him? and
Probably,
decided he's not
maybe,
good enough?
maybe.
I mean,
But dude, the facts are what they are. If you can point to that as a legitimate, like, hey man, you guys fucked me over. You know the World Series was rigged. You
Mm-hmm.
knew it. Those pitchers. Think about the pitchers they faced in LA.
a ton, and they.
Think about the ace arms they faced in LA.
And this guy's probably the worst of them all. And none of those guys. None of
he's
those
playing
guys
for
are
the
suing.
Fucking Blue Jays, man. It's a different thing. But dude, you're talking about Kershaw. You're talking about guys that are monsters, Hall of Famers. with the best shit in the game.
Agreed.
And walking off the mound going, what the fuck?
Well-
It's like these guys knew what I was about to throw.
Here's the problem.
And so for someone like him,
But those guys don't win every game they throw. They don't,
but they don't get murdered. Kershaw got his ass handed to him.
and he's never
in 3 innings.
no, he's never had a shitty outing. He's never had a. Well, I'm just saying, you could go back statistically through these people's career, and you could show where they've gotten their ass handed to them. They
Bad outing. We've seen Verlander have it.
It
sure.
happens. Exactly. You go out there, you don't have it. You can't quantify it, is all I'm saying. Yes, they cheated. They know they cheated, but you can't arguably say that's the reason that it happened.
I would absolutely say it because of the banging in the can.
So this guy,
You didn't give me a chance.
he's got a 3.87 ERA. He's
Japan. He's
whatever.
got his wife's pregnant.
So
Who gives a shit?
he's been lit up
not-
other
he's not
times.
Kershaw.
So everybody's.
That's what you use.
He's
as
But
the-
that's what I'm saying. He's
Kershaw.
been lit up every other. So
He's
so-
not Kershaw.
But Kershaw getting it, any other time he's been lit up, is that because someone was
So,
cheating?
if Verlander was pitching against the Cardinals in the World Series and got fucking shellacked, he's having a Cy Young award-winning year for the Tigers, gets to the World Series, and gets hammered.
Was he undefeated?
For 5 innings. Hold on. He gets hammered 5 innings. And then you find out afterwards that the Cardinals were banging on a trash can, tipping fastball and off-speed shit. You'd be livid.
I'm not saying
you
I'm
wouldn't
not.
You would not just go, the guy sucked in Japan. The guy had an off night. It happens. No, you'd go bull.
It's not the same comparison.
It's
though.
really not.
It's absolutely the same.
No,
How
it's
is it
really
any
not.
different?
Because you can't.
That's World Series
No,
teams
you're saying
with
that this
ace
guy's
pitchers.
career got ended because
No,
of
no.
one inning. Essentially,
This guy's career, you can point to that being the problem because of what the Astros did.
Wait.
I'm not saying it's true or not.
Why did he have
Then-
to move from a starter to a
Then why was he
reliever?
bouncing around the
Because
league?
1,000 guys do it all the time.
Hold on a second. Let's just simmer down. This guy's been bouncing back and forth between AAA and the majors. He
Yeah,
hasn't
lots of
been
guys
able to
do.
stay in. I understand that. But so why all of a sudden is this one game, this one inning,
Okay.
if he was legitimate and solid and a good fucking pitcher, he'd have stayed in the show. Okay? Period. End of story.
Maybe.
He's not. Okay. Well, so every other time that
Okay,
he
so I
sucked or he got
extended you
lit
both
up.
an olive branch, and you don't want to accept it.
Well, I
gave
just
you
said- what do you
Verlander
mean?
and Kershaw.
Okay. So
But they're not.
if Verlander was 25-0 with a 0.0 ERA,
What if he's
and
20-8?
But okay, what happened on those 8? Did they
Bad
cheat?
defense. Bats didn't come alive that day.
Okay,
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
saying.
How
but-
is that? Wait a minute. How is that an olive branch? Because what
But
did they
you-
sue?
Because,
what are they suing him for?
because hold on,
quantify.
shut up, both of you. Your guy's point is, the guy sucked anyways. He's bouncing back.
No.
Hold on. He's bouncing between AAA and the bigs. Lots of guys do that for the record, and some have very, very successful relief years.
True.
When they do that, okay, when they finally break through, finally get that fourth pitch that is kind of necessary, in instead of having just 2 pitches, they get a third or a fourth. It extended Verlander's career. Lots of guys, they're doing specialty relief, and they're very valuable. Come in for an inning, maybe an inning and a half. That happens. So my olive branch was, okay, fuck it. You want to go, that guy sucked anyways. He was a middler. He's a quintessential, he's bouncing back and
What I'm
forth
saying is that
guy.
didn't make or break
okay,
his career.
I'll give you Clayton Kershaw.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Who's an absolute ace. He's a $150 million arm, one of the best in baseball.
Yep.
And he got shellacked
Well, your argument is
in the
just
World
that cheating
Series.
hurt, which of course it did.
That doesn't bother you?
No, but it
But don't
bothers
you- do
me.
you
But it has nothing to
understand-
do with this guy.
Do you understand that because of that, you can now point to one of the best arms in baseball? I understand. Kershaw's had some issues in the postseason before.
Right.
That not without standing. Just saying. So I'm not ignorant to
exactly.
the fact that
And
he's had issues.
Right.
But
Well, you
to
are. Then
finish
that's
my
the
point, I'm saying you left the door open for this guy to make that claim validly, in my opinion. Going, the worst outing of my professional career, I felt like every pitch they knew what was coming, and they did.
And that's
Very
fair.
confused on what the point is, though. I
Well,
mean, so
right.
what? They cheated.
What do you
We
mean?
all know they cheated.
So
They-
you-
and
So his point is, fuck you. My contract is screwed up. Do you know what the contract difference is between AAA and the pros?
But there's no. Just no proof though that he was a good enough player to sue them to say that this is the reason I'm not playing in the major leagues right now.
That's
Don't
a
you think that?
stretch.
Don't you think that the video
so.
on him from in Japan and it would be
that
like
lawsuit probably goes nowhere.
No, and
Okay, but I like the
I
fact
see
that
the
it's like,
side of it,
hey,
and I could
man,
see like a what do you call it? There's a bunch of people suing. Not
class action.
Class action, yeah. I could see something along those lines where essentially everybody kind of goes at him and goes, hey, fuck off. Give up the $31 million, whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, eat a dick. You guys fucked it up. You need some punitive damages since MLB is not really going to come in and do anything. But one guy in a third of an inning to say my life's fucked because I ended up in Japan
With a pregnant wife.
is kind of shit. Well, I didn't fucking dump in her. It's not my fault.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's right. Absolutely. He could have had a fucking sore arm. Maybe he got shit-faced the night before. I don't know.
There's a lot of variables. That's what I'm saying.
Major League Baseball and the Astros left that door open.
Of course they
for this guy to go. And then to have documentation going, yeah, the most egregious moments in this whole thing that we can document is the night he was on the mound and the inning he was on the mound.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything. Think about the subtle differences.
But I don't know what's
between,
supposed to happen.
Hold on, E. Between that level of competition. The level of competition at the Major League Baseball of all sports, it's all pitching. You could have me and you in the outfield, T, if you have a good enough pitcher on the mound. We could go out there and fucking hustle for a couple innings.
Yeah.
The pitchers are everything. And if you can get a tip like fastball, just locate it, fastball, or off speed, dude, the difference in...
I don't understand what you want
Monumental.
to have happen here, though. Like, you're using this as a reason
It bothers
for
me.
what?
It bothers me, E, that the Astros, that Major League Baseball decided not to punish any players on the Astros team, suspend a couple managers, fine the team, pull some draft picks. It was a slap on the wrist.
That's
And
true,
that,
but
dude, that is horrible. If you were a Dodgers fan, think about if that was the Tigers, how you'd feel if you knew that the whole series they were stealing your. They knew what the pitches that were coming. And then they shellacked your ace arms.
I know, but I don't understand.
You'd be-
Okay, I'd be
you'd be
mad,
livid,
but I'd be
dude.
mad, and probably Major League should have done more. But I don't know what that has to do with you getting mad about us and this player. Like, you're right, but Major League probably should have taken away the World Series,
Yeah,
I guess. And all
they
that.
should. It'd
But
be
whatever,
better
I
to
don't
have
really
no World Series trophy
Sure.
given out for that year.
But I don't know why that matters about this guy. Like, I don't know what the.
Well, did you listen to this
Yeah.
to the things I gave you? Do you put nothing to that? Nothing?
No, not really.
Well,
Really?
no, but essentially every pitcher that faced them that year had the same adversity.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, okay, but they cheated. And
I don't know that they did it every inning. I don't know that they
Oh.
did against every pitcher.
Okay,
but it
but-
sounds like it was especially bad with this guy.
Maybe they knew.
Documented.
Maybe they knew because he was not that good of a pitcher to start with, and they said, "Hey, if it's going to be a fastball, this is all he throws, and if it's going to be,
Well, it
he's
doesn't
only
sound
got
like he was a
one
fastball thrower
Right,
either,
well,
like-
and if he's going to
Oh.
go off speed, the only thing he's got is this one shitty little changeup, and you know it's
So why
going
do
to
we
be a
need to cheat
meatball
then?
up
He's
top.
just got a meatball up top. Just smoke it.
I'm just-
Apparently, they thought it was enough to fucking
they
use
knew they
more,
could
more
take advantage
can
of it.
hits
Hey,
during then. I
right.
mean,
should we start a GoFundMe for him? Do you
No.
feel that bad?
No,
I was
I'm
just looking up some
shocked.
Kershaw stuff. No, I was just looking there. 2014, there's a 2/3 of an inning of Kershaw where he just got absolutely fucking hammered. I was trying to get into
Was
the
there any
stats
garbage
or whatever.
can knocks?
No, it was against Arizona. So were they cheating? Is that
No.
should he sue them?
dude, I'm
Should
not
he-
saying a pitcher can't have a bad night.
And that's my
We've
point:
seen-
is that you can't.
I know. My point is,
Prove-
when you've got that kind of evidence, you can go, "Hey, man, you left the door open, not me."
Well, it would
I
be-
now have an excuse for it.
Of course, they
And
left the
Major League
door open
Baseball
against
should
all of
answer
it.
for it.
I said it was interesting that that was the way he went. My point is that you can't. All the shit the fallout of that he wants to go back and say because of that third of an inning that he fucking threw 12 balls on top of everything else, that's why my entire life sucks dick now. I know.
I didn't get that feeling that that's what I'm saying.
Well,
What's he
I mean,
suing? What does he
whatever.
want to sue for
I'm in
then?
Japan and I don't speak the language and I have no friends and my wife's pregnant and all of that.
That's
You
a
want to
little
put it
needy.
into
Fine.
it? Sure.
If you,
It's going
but
up-
you can understand, T. If
He got
this
fucked
is your
just like everybody
drive-
else did.
Sure. If your goal is to make it to the bigs, right? There are so many guys. You throw one pitch in the majors, career changing, life changing.
Can be.
Right?
Yeah.
Life changing. You can say I was a major league pitcher. You know, not a AAA guy, almost made the show on Bull Durham. No, you made it to the show. And there are so many guys on the cusp, on the edge. Those guys don't have they have a very short leash. So if you get called up, right? He's been up before. We sent him down. We think he's got something he's worked on that's good. The pitching coaches down there like what he's doing. Let's bring him up in August. Let's see what he's got. He comes up, he's getting a little older, he's 28, 29. His leash is even shorter. And then in the game they put him in, this shit happens, and he gets smoked.
The problem is
they're done.
But
they're
he's been
not bringing him up
smoked
again.
before. But the problem is that if it was a total anomaly, and this is the only time in any, I'll give you the Kershaw. I'll give you back your olive branch. If this guy has gone his entire career and been spotless and never been fucking tagged and never been lit up in an inning like that before, then you could go, oh, well, yeah, that's obviously
in the World
something where.
Series.
A, he's choked in series before. He's historically been known for it. B, I could probably
Well,
go
that
back with
doesn't
time
help.
and give you instance after instance of times that he's gotten killed. Yes, more times than not, but you can't just say because that happened. A plus B does not automatically equal C.
We're getting in the weeds. This is like saying Doug Fister is not a good pitcher because he had a 7-15 record.
I hardly know her.
Right? Doug Fister with Seattle had a shit record. It's not fair. He came here with a team around him and had all-star years. So to go, dude, historically he's a fucking 7-20 guy.
No,
well, yeah, he is on a shitty team. He
That's
can
not
only
what
do so much.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
So Kershaw, I don't know what Kershaw's teams were all like. No. Everybody agrees Kershaw hits the free agent market. He'll break the bank.
He's fantastic. All I'm saying is that
he's Cole Hamels. He's fucking.
It's not the only time he's been lit up.
Verlander. He's one of the aces of aces.
He shit the bed before without cheating allegedly. You don't know that for sure, but this is the only time that you can point to it and go, well, we know they were cheating right now and he shit the bed. So you can't just say he shit the bed because they were cheating.
Well,
that's the only way that this comes up.
There's his statistics through 2017. I mean,
whose?
Mike, the guy, still.
He's 8-19 with a 4.92 ERA and a 1.5 WHIP. That's not that great, buddy.
No shit.
Okay,
I didn't say it was.
I understand. So all this 1/3 of an inning where he got hammered because they knew what was coming. Was
helps.
it worse?
Yeah,
sure, but those stats right
and it
there.
led to him being demoted and never being called up. Not
Guess
even
what?
during the September call-ups.
Guess what? Those statistics that he just showed send you to Japan, not just that third of an inning.
Well, those, Kershaw getting lit the fuck up is not going to send him anywhere.
And he's not in Japan.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So this one guy that wants to use that is he
hope
got
he wins.
fucked. I get it.
I hope he wins.
I hope he does too because the Astros cheated, and I hope they have to pay for it. But
we've only got a couple minutes left. We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
We'll disagree to agree.
Okay.
Fair
of
enough?
course. Yeah, for sure. Bump it out.
Because I wanted to mention this.
What do you got?
Killing in the name.
Oh shit! This is gonna get me all worked up here.
I know. Troy's gonna get moist over there.
Oh, I am already. I have been all day. I heard about. Just figured this out today.
Yeah. Rage Against the Machine. We need to call in some favors.
Yeah.
Because that's Little Caesars. I'm trying
It
to
is
think.
LCA.
We got a man over there, but I don't know.
I already put a call into a super friend of ours, but there's nothing that can be done at this point.
Yeah, there's no pre-sale. Rage Against the Machine.
Yes.
One of the greatest bands ever. They missed out on the Hall of Fame. Was that this year? Last year. I think they were eligible this year and didn't get in, which is a fucking marked tragedy.
True.
Rage
Very
Against
true.
the Machine is, say what you want.
Morello's highly underrated as a
Oh.
guitarist.
What is he, Harvard? Is he Harvard or
was he?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Dude, he's brilliant. I think he went to Harvard.
Okay.
Tom Morello. July 13th, Rage's first appearance here since a '99 show at the Palace. I would have been at that show. Were you at that?
I did not. I've never seen him. Bucket list. Bucket list show. Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
Yeah. You've probably seen Incarnations.
I have. I saw. What the hell is it called? Shit.
Audio Slave.
No.
Or Prophets of Rage.
Prophets of Rage. Yes.
Okay, that's with Chuck D.
With
and
Chuck
Be Real.
and Be Real. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic because I had a friend that was the usher at Pine Knob, the far right side.
Mm-hmm.
So we could buy lawn tickets all the time and just go see him, and we'd sneak down to that all the way down to the front. And there's a huge monitor speaker right there. So the far right front row sucks. Nobody sits in those kind of seats because you can't see anything.
Yeah.
So everybody just kind of migrates to the side. I actually have a great picture of a person I was with getting a high five from Be Real.
Really?
Down in front, yeah, like singing and all that. But
I wonder if I was at that show.
Morello was you would know if you were, but Morello was right
Not really.
in front.
Not necessarily.
No, true. It wasn't that long. It was only a couple of years ago. It was like 2 years ago. Prophets of Rage is new.
Yeah.
But Morello, anyway, the whole point was that Morello was on that side of the stage. And I literally got to be, from you to me, basically, watching Morello just slay. And what he does on a guitar is sickness.
Oh, dude. And I was hoping he would just take the ball and run with it, but he probably doesn't know who Tom Morello is. But yeah, his style,
Yeah.
he worked on it, I want to say Harvard.
Okay.
Do they raise fuck. I should not be looking this up live, but whatever.
Whatever.
But he was working on all the scratching.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
dude, he's playing, like, he's keeping the beat. He's keeping the backbeat on a lead guitar.
Yeah, it's
And
not. It's totally a different style than
Yeah.
almost any other lead guitarist. Comparably, one of the few I could even. It's more like almost Jack White. Something. The sounds that he gets out of a guitar, just
incredible.
It shouldn't be.
One of those, there are certain guitarists and singers, drummers.
Yeah.
I always know it's like, oh shit, that's Alex Van Halen playing the drums. That's Alex on his Ludwig kit. I could play that Ludwig kit. It's not going to sound like Alex. No. Eddie Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen picks up guitar. Slash.
Yeah.
Tom Morello fits in there.
Yeah.
Tom Morello.
It's not the guitar they're
"That's Tom
playing. It's
Morello."
how they play it.
It's incredible how you shouldn't be able to tell a bass player. If Billy Sheehan's playing the bass, I fucking know Billy Sheehan's playing it.
Flea.
Flea.
Another one. You know when Flea's slapping the bass.
Flea. Les
Claypool. Oh.
Les Claypool playing the bass, it's Les Claypool. You just do. And so Tom Morello you would put in that category for sure.
It's
when
been
Tom's
long.
playing.
It's a big deal that Rage is coming, and people maybe don't know, but they've been
Dude, they're playing
apart for
Little
a
Caesars
long
Arena.
time. Oh yeah, and they
You know what I
they
mean?
could-
Like, that's no bullshit.
Yeah, they
Little
could sell
Caesars.
out anywhere they go because people have been dying for them to get back together and put this show together.
All tickets for the Detroit show go on sale 11 o'clock this Thursday.
They go on sale Friday.
Obnoxious as
I know.
shit. Please don't do that again.
They go on sale next week. Nobody that's listening right now, try and get online and buy tickets at that time. Next Tuesday, buy
Yeah,
tickets.
well, no. The problem is you're going to jump in that line, that queue line.
The queue.
You're going to get in the
dreaded
queue at 11 o'clock
in the circle of
on
death.
Thursday, and I promise you,
I won't.
You are fucked.
I know. Fuck off.
You're fucked.
I know.
It's so stacked
know.
against you.
I know.
You can't win. The amount of dummy sites, dummy accounts that are set up to be there, and those dummy accounts in the thousands get kicked out of there, and then they're right there. You get kicked out, you're never getting back in.
Nope.
Like, you're gonna find Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, we're gonna start hearing stories about people that are pissed.
Oh yeah.
That I was there, I was in line.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So the secondary market, unfortunately, it's a scalper's game, man.
Yeah.
And so we'll be at this show. We'll go to this show.
I will be there. I have no doubt.
We'll be there.
Unfortunately, it's going to
But
cost me probably way
you're
too
not
much.
going to be there because you got first in queue line at
Well,
11 a.m. on Thursday.
Don't jinx me, fucker. I'm going to be
Well,
there
I'm
at
telling
least.
you,
You never
you're
know.
not.
I get lucky once in a while. I'd be surprised what I come up with.
Original lineup. They announced earlier, was it the summer? They announced that, hey, we're going to do Coachella.
Yeah, they were going to do a festival,
just
and I
festivals.
knew that was going to spawn into a tour. And Run the Jewels is opening up for him.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with them.
That's the video I showed you yesterday.
Really?
Eat a bag of dicks, put it in my lips.
Yeah.
That's
Really?
that's Run the Jewels. Yeah, it's a rap group actually.
This is really cool, though. When these bands have been, not done anything for 20 years or 10 years.
Yeah.
To get Zach De La Rocha and Tom Morello and Tim Comerford and Brad Wilk, great drummer,
Yeah.
Brad is, reuniting to get, like, full lineup, it's just so rare.
Yeah.
To get the original lineup, it's just so rare. And I don't know what happened with them, but of course they're going to be annoyingly political. You know it.
Well, Zach always has. That was their whole premise that was the
yeah, so
point
is
of the
Tom.
band in a way.
So is
and Tom is too, but that was the whole. I just say that because Zach's on a mic. Generally, he's got the voice. But
all proceeds from concerts in El Paso, Phoenix, and La Cruces, New Mexico, will go to immigrant rights efforts. Through ticketing, volunteering, and band donations, Rage will be working with multiple charities and activist organizations throughout the tour. And it sounds like they'll have activist charity shit depending on what city they're in.
Yeah.
So those border ones, it makes sense. They're going to do the immigrant rights thing and probably just go to some law firm
Sure.
that fights for immigrant rights. So
tell
they
you-
can come to this country illegally and, soak up our, health care and get driver's licenses and whatever else they want. So
The cool thing about the
Whatever.
Prophets show that they were doing, the Prophets of Rage, they put that together to be kind of a political thing in a way. But
yeah.
Chuck D is absolutely one of my favorite MCs of all
Should
time.
be.
I go back old school,
Yep.
Public Enemy, and Be Real's legit too. But the cool thing about that show is they did Rage songs, they did Public Enemy songs,
Yeah.
they did Cypress Hill songs, they did some Beastie Boys. I mean, they ran the gamut, and
Yeah.
kind of going back to what you were talking about with Eminem. Doing that with a live band and doing it in that
Sure.
fashion, to be able to have those guys doing those type of songs with a rock band and Morello playing and having Public Enemy
Yeah.
and those kind of songs, it was dope, man. It was
Yeah.
it was really cool. I wish they were still touring in a way. I mean, I'll take Rage obviously first, but
Dude.
that was pretty sick to see.
I saw them back when that first, what was their big album, Rage? Fight, something the Machine or something.
That was
Was
the
it big-
original.
yeah.
Yeah,
I saw them on that tour.
they only did 2 albums.
I know.
Really, the first one, it's iconic with the Buddhist monk letting himself on fire.
Yeah.
That's the cover of that. The second one was like Bulls on Parade and
Yeah, and I was
called
in Lansing, and we did a huge promotion with Rage for Bulls on Parade. When that came out, I remember that single coming out, and I remember the single CD they sent with the yellow bullseye and all
Yep.
that shit. And there were a couple things we did back then, like big as an alternative rock station. It was like Rage has a new album, they're gonna come through, and so we'll put on the show, sponsored, all that kind of stuff. And then the other, Chili Peppers.
Oh yeah.
Chili Peppers came out with One Hot Minute with what's his name on guitar, Dave Navarro. Fucking didn't fit at all with the band, total mismatch. And that's when they got all fucking pissed off at us because we were giving away catalogs, like full disc catalog, Blood Sugar Sex Magic all the way through One Hot Minute.
One of my favorite all-time
it's-
albums.
It's great, dude. I mean, they've
Great.
got what's his name
Still
on
holds
that?
up.
Produced it.
Oh, I have no idea.
Funk
Who?
dude, dreads, like legendary funk dude.
George Clinton?
George Clinton.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. That makes sense.
And so, I mean, we're talking Mother's Milk even
Yeah.
before Blood Sugar Sex Magic, which is such a great album. And then they got fucking pissed off because we're saying the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah, the Red Hot Chili Peppers instead of Red Hot Chili
Oh, you
Peppers.
put a the in there. You
As if
fuckers.
you wouldn't say the Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
It's just Pearl Jam. It was like, suck a dick. And I remember pulling out my Mother's Milk CD and going, fuck you. It says the Red Hot Chili Peppers on the side of the goddamn thing. They didn't care, though. They weren't having it. It was like, if anyone says the Red... And it's just like,
yeah.
yeah,
get
the
over
big
yourself.
game this weekend because you can't say Super Bowl.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, it was like Red Hot Chili Peppers at the the Lansing whatever fucking arena, and they got all anal about that. But
So if
yeah, I
anybody
remember
has any access to Rage Against the Machine tickets,
Yeah.
email me at fuck the show. Don't go to Detroitcast. Go straight to me.
what do you got at Easus? You look like you're.
Oh, nothing.
Got any
I
email?
thought,
No.
Oh.
I just don't have any thoughts on Rage Against the Machine. I guess.
Nothing? You don't even
Oh,
listen?
dude.
You don't
No,
even...
not really.
you
I know
feel
one.
music. You feel the intensity. You would love Rage.
That is
I know
actually
I only know the one song that everyone would know.
No,
I guess.
you would know probably 6
killing in
songs.
the name of, probably.
You would. You would. Trust me.
Probably. Maybe a few.
You would know more than that, in all honesty. Yeah, you would. But
Okay, so
Bulls on
Morello
Parade, you know
graduated
for
from
sure.
Oh, yeah, I guess
Harvard.
you're right.
was it Harvard?
He went to Harvard, graduated in '84 with a bachelor's in political science. Fitting
Yeah,
for his
for sure.
common stance.
Yep.
Politics. But anyways, that's great news. I'm excited for that. That's a
It's a big deal for them to get back together.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm glad they're coming here because sometimes they do that stuff and they just
Yeah.
keep it either West Coast or international. And
or
Detroit
festival,
gets
festival based.
Exactly.
They can make millions
just doing the
bang one show.
6-8 festivals in a year, and that's it. So I'm glad they're coming here.
Yeah, and Zach and Tom, all those guys are so fucking fun to watch on stage. I mean,
Yeah.
they're into it. Like,
Oh, dude.
at least they used to be. I'm sure they still are.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. Who's going to be the hero that we'll pay for our tickets. We don't need fucking
Yeah,
media
whatever.
holds
Just
or anything, but
and
it's
again, just so everybody knows, I will be that asshole at 9:58 in line online, hooked up.
10:58.
You should,
Oh, yeah,
you
11
should make
o'clock, that
sure
one
to see
goes.
when you can get in the line, because sometimes you can get in the line even earlier. You can
Yeah.
you can
Dude,
get,
There's
get in
no
the queue.
pre-sale. There's no codes. There's no nothing. Tickets go on sale at 11 a.m. on Thursday.
And that's it.
Be there or be square. All right, let's get out of here.
Adios.
Good discussion today, T.
Yeah, right on. Thanks.
Even though you guys are dead wrong about the baseball thing. It's all right.
Well,
It's okay.
be better.
Yeah.
You'd be in the show.
Yeah. He was in the show. Stole it from him. Whatever.
Was that the first time he got
Let's
demoted?
focus back on Rage. Fucker.
Okay.
So yeah, thanks everybody for hanging with us, joining us today. We, as always, appreciate that. Trying to think if there's anything else we need to mention. Nah, I guess we're good.
Pearl Jam in San Diego on my birthday?
Sure.
Oh, just throw that out there one more time just in case.
Yep.
You never
Pearl
know.
Jam tickets, dude. I have connections.
I'm not
for
above
tickets.
begging.
Pearl Jam is one, like, dude. I'm all in, but
I'll pay at least $20 over face for sure. No problem.
how about $1,000
Yeah,
over
hey,
face?
hey, come on.
And
That's
I don't
generous.
have, I just don't have connections for Pearl Jam.
I know.
Dude, from my entire career in radio,
It's a small
it's a
group.
very, very tight, small group.
I lost out on my Dead and Company pre-sale, by the way.
That's all right.
I know. I'll still
We'll
go
get
anyway.
there.
I know, but
All right, let's get out of here. Thanks everybody for hanging with us. We'll be back tomorrow. Jay will be here Wednesday, and we'll be back tomorrow. T, you'll be here?
yep,
with me
sometime. We
tomorrow.
got to figure that out. But yeah, I'll be here.
Okay, thanks everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.